Hey guys, what's up? Killjoy Jake here, and instead of having friends, I've got a little bit of a heat miser thing going on right now with the old hair. I cannot wait for this quarantine to be over, people. I need a haircut so bad. Today we're going to be going over a little bit of horror news that's happened in this past week. In fact, this is going to be a bit of a new series that I'm going to start doing, posting every Sunday. Just going to be recapping some of the more minor details that have happened in the horror world this past week. But first, I'm going to need you guys to like this video and subscribe for more horror content. Alright, now let's get into it. So first thing off the bat, we have some news about Olivia Wilde's new horror thriller movie. Olivia Wilde's directorial debut movie, Booksmart, was a pretty big hit, and now I guess she's moving into the realm of horror with a new movie called Don't Worry, Darling. Olivia Wilde will be starring in this film alongside Florence Pugh, Chris Pine, and even Shia LaBeouf. So this is gonna be pretty awesome because those are some of my favorites. The film is being described as a psychological thriller about a 1950s housewife whose reality begins to crack, revealing a disturbing truth underneath. This one kind of reminds me of that play A Doll's House, if you're familiar with that. Oh god, I am such a nerd. The original screenplay was written by the same guys who wrote that god-awful ripoff of A Quiet Place called The Silence that had those shitty little CGI birds that were coming and attacking people. It was pretty terrible. So that script was thrown out and has actually been completely rewritten by Katie Silverman, who also wrote Booksmart. Roy Lee, who produced the first It movie and The Ring, the American remake that is also going to be producing this movie alongside Wilde and Silverman. Now this film sounds interesting to me, but I'm gonna hold my judgment until I see it. I remember what I thought about when Jordan Peele was gonna join the horror-verse. I thought, are you serious? The guy from Key and Peele? He should just stick to comedies. Like, what is he doing? He's not gonna do anything good. I was very, very wrong. Very, very wrong. Times a million to the varies. So moving on, Young Sang-ho is going to be heading 2 new horror series for Netflix, and I'm very excited for both of them. One of them is going to be a Korean zombie series called All of Us Are Dead, but the big one here is Hellbound, which is about a group of supernatural beings who appear and condemn people to hell. A new religious group is interpreting that they are the will of the divine. So the series is based on a Korean webtoon called Hell, just Hell, so this is going to be called Hellbound, kind of like what they did with the Hellraiser series, which is weird. What unfolds through this predicament is an intense and highly charged story about people who must survive under conditions of utter social chaos, said Yun in a press release. I don't know too much about Korean horror webtoons, but I guess they're pretty popular. My friend Malia is a huge fan of them and keeps telling me to try one of them, so clearly I have to. I gotta go check them out. I'm pretty excited for this series though, because Young Sang-ho is fantastic. I'll see anything he makes, including the new Train to Busan 2, which comes out later this year. Getting into some bigger news here, Escape Room 2 was announced a little earlier this year, but now the release date has been pushed just a couple days, which is kind of weird. So originally it was going to come out on December 30th of this year, but now it's coming out January 1st, 2021. So like literally 2 days past the point. I don't really understand why they're doing that. The film will be starring Logan Miller and Taylor Russell and will be directed by Adam Robital, who did the 4th Insidious movie, which I happen to love. Screw you, Rotten Tomatoes. The film will also feature the talents of Isabel Fuhrman, who played the titular orphan in Orphan, Holland Roden from Channel Zero on Shudder, and Thomas Cockerell, something like that, from The 100. I am just terrible at pronouncing things. I'm very sorry. I try my best though. Honestly, I just thought the first one was okay. It was okay. It wasn't a bad movie, you know, one way or the other. The thing that really worries me about this sequel though is that it's going to be a January release now, which anyone who knows anything about movies knows that January is your place to just dump movies that are bleh. So the fact that they actually moved the date 2 days just so that it would be a January release gets me really worried about this film. It's probably, my expectations are on the fence right now. Probably gonna be not so hot. And now for probably the biggest story that happened this week is that Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark 2 has been confirmed, and there's a whole bunch of new news about it. Guillermo del Toro and Andre Ovredal are returning for the sequel. It was reported by Bloody Disgusting that Dan and Kevin Hageman will return to write the script, and del Toro will not only produce the film but also write the story as well. Although THR reported that it is unclear whether del Toro will be back in his previous role of producer. Does he not do sequels? I could have sworn that was a thing about him. I'm not sure. Since there are multiple Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark novels by Alvin Schwartz, I'm sure they could just just keep pumping these movies out for the next like 5 or 6 years. I'm totally down to see the creature designs from this movie was the biggest thing that drew me to it. The story overall was just kind of blah, and it was a PG-13 movie, so there wasn't a whole lot of crazy horror action. The biggest attraction to this movie, at least for me, was definitely the creature designs. I love those creepy looking, scary stories, monsters, especially the creepy woman in the hospital with the red light. I don't even know what that is, but she's just like this mound of like creepy flesh that just kind of walks around and sucks you into her. I wouldn't mind seeing the return of some of these characters as well, on top of some new ones. So far there's no release date or anything like that. It's just got announced. It's a little bit in development now, but it's really in the super early stages, so I'll have some more news on that probably in the coming weeks. So what of these things are you guys most excited about? Leave me something in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching my first video that's kind of like recapping little horror stories throughout the week. If you guys liked it, then I'll keep making more. Maybe I'll do one every Sunday. Who knows? Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more horror content. Also, if you're not following me on Twitter at KilljoyJake1, you better be doing it now. Also on Instagram as well at Killjoy_Jake. Go check that out. And as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.